it's very important that we regularly, whenever we can, listen to his voice no matter how many times we've heard it, because we need it each day to kind of, just to wake up and just to remember and to feel and to be with him, to hear him. You see, it's sort of like, how much would we love to be able to visit him in his apartment upstairs at Mount Washington every day if possible. He said that to Sri Yukteswar when Sri Yukteswar said, "Come here whenever you find time," and Master said, "Every day if possible." And so the same for us with him. And it's amazing how looking at pictures of him, hearing his voice, reading his words, how they can reach us, the same words that we have read before, but how they can reach us in new ways. Or they can reach us even in the same way, but again, we need it today. We need constant remembrances, reminders. And it really takes us deeper, and it helps us to feel how he is reaching out to us. You see, sometimes we feel that we are always reaching out to him or to God, but they don't answer. But he answers all the time. Thank you. And the more that we can receive him, the more that we can feel how much of his presence is there. In other words, Master said at Sister Gyanamata's funeral, he said, "My Guru is more with me now than when he was in the body." And Swamiji said, "Master is much more with me now than when he was alive on earth." And I thought when hearing that, well, how nice for them. I couldn't say that I felt Master was more with me than one way or another. I have to say I do feel that I'm more aware, I'm more open, I've spent more time on the path, different ways and so on, but it's kind of theoretical for me. I hope it's true. But I have to say, after Swamiji's passing, I felt his presence more and more. I can't say more than when he was alive. I can't compare the two, but I can say definitely a continuation. Everyone else I knew, after they left the body, they were just gone. There might be a dream of them, or you might sort of feel them a little bit, but then they were sort of on to their next step, which of course is what they should do. But for the masters, it's different. As Master said in yesterday's talk, Yogananda was never born, nor did he die. I'm talking about his God consciousness, his awareness as an avatar. This is something that Swamiji often emphasized in our birthday celebrations of Master, that we not forget that he's not a person with a birthday, but that he was God come on this earth for the sake of the earth and for the sake of each of us, for all of us. He said a Master's work is always quantitative and qualitative. On a quantitative level, he comes generally to help the planet to perhaps bring in a new wave of consciousness, in this case, Dwapara Yuga, the new age, and in particular the age of energy, and in particular, practicing Kriya Yoga, a technique to work directly with the energy within yourself, bringing together the different religions, showing the truth, the Sanatana Dharma at the core of each of them. Certainly that was part of his world mission. And he said as much. But also on a qualitative level, he came to free souls that want freedom. You see, that's part of it. That we, in the wanting of it, that allows him to help us more. And it is just always that way. There are always just a few who are really seeking God. I asked Swamiji, because when I had read Autobiography of a Yogi, I thought, this Kriya Yoga has to be where it's at. And you hear Master talking about it in this talk. And it's just, I want this Kriya. So I thought, naturally, everyone will think this way. And so I asked Swamiji, did Master envision that everyone who would read Autobiography of a Yogi would eventually take Kriya initiation? And Swamiji said, oh no. He, as if to say, How could you even ask such a question? And I have to say, decades after that now I can see, yes, in fact, it statistically hasn't borne out. But he said very few people actually want God. Just that simple. Because it's not even Kriya. What's Kriya for? But to find God. And so we should count ourselves very fortunate that we do want God. And we should share that joy with anyone else who does want God, and we should share it with those who don't even. Because if anyone doesn't want God, it's only because they haven't quite figured it out, that that's the greatest joy. Imagine meeting someone and you say, oh, Maisurpak, and they say, Enade? You say, ho, just you wait. And so if you see people who are saying, no, it's money or position or my LinkedIn profile or my increment, then just say, okay, fine. But once you find the Maisurpak, then you will be hooked. Because it's the only joy that lasts. It's the only thing. Even Maisurpak you can overdo, believe me. But God, you just can't. You can't get enough. And I say that after years of, hearing the same talk even, but I hear it in different ways. That Master always takes us deeper because, as he said, it's a living truth. What he shares is a living truth. He himself is a living, eternal presence, as he said in that talk yesterday, that whether I'm in the body or not, I shall stoop down from heaven. Those who are in tune with me, I shall stoop down from heaven and make them realize the love of my Father. So he's got to be stooping, reaching for us right now. And he continues to do the more we open. And this listening to his voice is one easy way to open. Easy. Now, sometimes people are a little frightened of his voice because it's so strong. When Swamiji said we were never frightened of Master in that way. And he said that he never spoke sternly to the disciples. Some of the recordings that you hear, there are a few that have been released where actually he even seems a bit stern. And Swamiji heard those recordings and he said, I remember when he talked that way, meaning he was there during when that talk was recorded. He said that was the only time he ever talked that way. So we hear it and think, oh my gosh, this was just a day in the life. Swamiji said it was the only one. He said he was always encouraging, he was always patient, he was always kindly supportive. He was always giving, as long as someone was trying, as long as they wanted to change. Remember, as the one disciple said to him, Master, I don't think I have very good karma. And Master said it takes very, very, very good karma, even to want to know God. And so Swamiji emphasized also at Master's birthday the need to remember about how much he is our divine friend. There are many relationships one can have with God, Master said. There's father, mother, friend, beloved. That's why we say the prayer that way. He said additionally there's master and servant and guru and disciple. These were the 6 he particularly mentioned. But he said above all of them, friend is the sweetest. He said in friendship there is no compulsion. In just about every other relationship, we have a certain expectation, like, after all, you are the only one, you are the only mother, you are the only wife, you are the only husband, and since I'm here and since you are there, you owe me. And he said, with a friend, we don't have that. You can have any number of friends. There's no sense of that requirement. And if there is, well, then it's not as strong of a friendship. It's better to be freely giving in our friendship. Remember also that our friendship isn't always returned. In this world of duality, we don't have perfection. We shouldn't seek it on a human level. 2 egos cannot be perfect to one another because by definition of ego, they're limited. And that means there can be misunderstanding. Master said, my greatest pains on this earth have come from other people's misunderstanding. Really interesting, you think about it. Not disease, not, financial troubles. He had all kinds of difficulties he had to overcome in establishing this work on earth. You've heard that one talk where he said in India, the guru sits quiet and the disciples build a temple over him. And he said in America, the guru has to provide for the disciples first. He had to build the place, he had to feed them, he had to house them, he had to keep the electricity, the lights on, and he did a lot of it, all on his own in the very beginning, and with lots of trouble too. And so, meaning even when he had earned a lot of money, still that money then was taken by somebody. And Swamiji too, he built Ananda all on his own. He had no help except his own, what he could do in sharing the teachings and earning the money, and he built that place, Ananda Village. In time, people came on and they started helping, but he had to do it all. And one saint, when he visited Ananda, he was with Swamiji and walking the ground, and he said, "What an awful lot of tapasya someone must have done to build this place." And Swamiji said, "You're looking at him." Yeah. And it's just the way it is, that's what they do for us. And so never hide from Master. If you ever hear his voice as being strong, remember he's on your side. Do you want Krishna and Arjuna on your side, or do you want to be on the opposite side? Don't worry, you're on their side. Nothing you can do about it, because they're on your side. So feel that in everything. Sometimes people will get hung up on thinking, oh, I'm not quite good enough, or oh, he can't be pleased with me, or oh, see this one, they're so much better than I am. It's all foolish. It's not even true. We have no way of knowing, unless you can see everybody's past life and catalog them and keep score and then do some kind of tally, which we can't and we shouldn't. Then we have no way of knowing. And even if it were true, as Master said in another context, what difference would it make? Around the dinner table, is there only one seat for the child to eat who has the highest test score? And all the others, better luck next time? Maybe, actually, but never mind. There shouldn't be. Remember, I too had a South Indian father. And so it's not about test scores. You don't have to qualify. Your seat is there. It has your name on it. No one else can sit there. And so it's just that way with masters. There's no need to ever feel any kind of greater or lesser or anything, because you're precious to him. And the more we can feel that, he even said it in this talk that we listened to yesterday, don't be afraid. Don't ever have fear of God. He said, because that separates you from him. And so let us not ever have any fear of Master. There's some people have told me, looking into his picture, that I'm slightly nervous. I feel kind of like, he saw that. Even if so, even if he did see it, he loves you anyway. He loves us anyway. If God really had to evaluate everything based on our performance, forget it. We'd all be gone. We'd all be recycled at this point. Try again. Of course he has patience. In the same way we have patience, for example, with a child who might say something that would be rude if an adult said it, or might break something, or just, accidentally do anything. We indulge the child because we know it doesn't necessarily know better. The child is learning, and hopefully if the child is 65, we might have a different reaction. But until then, we give it the benefit of the doubt and a little latitude. So does God for us. So should we with ourselves. And so should we with other people too. Be patient. Even in the worst case, Master quoted this all the time of Christ. The people who were sort of orchestrating his execution, he said to God, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And so remember that even if people do hurt you, even if they are cheating, even if they are just thinking of themselves, well, they know not what they do. If anyone could really feel the impact of that kind of behavior, they wouldn't do it, because it hurts too much. Think about us. We say one thing, it hurts somebody we didn't mean to, and how we hang on to it. Oh, I shouldn't have, if only I had known. Oh. And so we feel that pain. And Sri Yukteswar said in the astral world, the beings feel great pain if there is some breach of protocol or kindness or something like that. Someone was forgotten to be served an astral teacup, and everyone, it's really quite something to envision. But because we want there to be harmony, we want there to be love, kindness, friendship, and that comes from Master. It's really that simple. And it came to all of us through Swamiji. That's how we experienced it. And I don't just mean we who lived with him, but we all, because you can see a few videos of Master, but many videos of Swamiji, and you can get to know him easily that way, and to see the way he was with people, and then to follow that. We just can't help it. We are their children. That's what we do. Krishna says in the Gita, as the greater man does, the lesser men imitate. We could say similarly, as the father does, as the guru does, as the friend does, so we all do. If for no other reason than we know how we have felt in receiving that kindness, that patience, that understanding, and why not share that with others? So, on this birthday of Masters, which we've been celebrating now for some days and enjoying our ability to celebrate it in person together again, finally, let us, in whatever way you feel, perhaps give some gift of love to Master, or else receive a gift of love. Sometimes if we think of, what can I give you, Master? What else can I give you? 75 hours of meditation a week, and plus I will also serve, and I will never sleep, and I'll fast for 1 month out of the year. And we can get crazy in sort of piling on the demands.